Hello YouTube and welcome back to another 7.3 video. So this one here is 7.3.3 and it's doing what seems to be a very heavily mystic based path along here where they have some form of aggression regen that constantly goes up. There's this mystic curse, so every time you throw a special you put poison on them to slow down the regen and stop it. And then there's a couple of other nodes, but there's not really anything mainly to worry about. Apart from that, yeah, it's just use Mystic Champions really, and make sure you don't get hit, I guess. That's the main point of the game anyway. But yeah, this Phoenix isn't really a tough fight. The main thing you have to watch out for with Phoenix is that she builds her Phoenix charges up, and then throws a special one, gains a load of power. I think there's one point where she almost goes up to 3 bars of power, I think it is. Just from throwing the special one, I can't remember exactly which time, but yeah. So it's a pretty simple fight, especially this one. I'll just let you watch it. So there you go. Finally, after getting rid of her Rise of the Phoenix regen phase out of the way as well, she's down, and then we can move on to the next part of the path. So this one here is a Gambit. Recently got a buff, may as well have been just a prestige buff if I'm honest. I don't really ever notice Gambit or anything that he does. Probably will never rank up Gambit for any reason past rank 1 or maybe rank 2 push as a 6-star. And yeah, again, just take this fight nice and steady. Obviously you can see there the regens are coming up. I pretty much do most of the fights with Doom just because I'm comfy with him, and if I can get the special rotation down for the full Doom cycle, then it makes a lot of sense. The special one, just be careful with that because it can apply a stun if it hits you. But yeah, apart from that, it's a pretty easy fight. I'm hitting well above the regen cap at the moment, so especially because Gambit doesn't gain a crazy amount of buffs. With the Diablo synergy that I brought in for Dr. Doom, it means that there's always going to be a stagger on Gambit, which is guaranteed then to make any future heavy attacks crit. So it's pretty nice. I can kind of just go through the motion here, get another special, get ready to throw it, and then have the poison ticking over again to stop the regen phases that he's trying to go through. And yeah, overall, not a bad fight. All these fights have limber, so you just have to be a little bit more worried about that. Well, I don't really see it as a major node, especially not if you've got like a 6-star Doom or something, because it's block proficiency and that is so high anyway that it's not really going to make a massive difference. So next up here we've got this Odin. He gets a few buffs, so more likely when staggers come through he will be starting to nullify them every so often. But yeah, so the special one here, I forgot what it was the first time, so I just took it to the block because I wasn't really concerned about it. I knew it wouldn't go unblockable or anything, it wouldn't hit me that hard. So there I just dex it. You can see here he's got quite a lot of the regens on, so he's whenever I'm hitting him, he's basically gaining like, what is it, 3.5k regen a tick back. And here I'm just trying to force him into the Doom cycle, so he's on 10 regens, I think it was by the time I got to that special 3. So yeah, that's why I'd had no damage done yet. But Odin's not, especially on defense, he's not really the scariest champion in the world. He's not a bad attacker from what I've seen. Some people do use him on attack and really enjoy using him. I don't think he's too bad. Other people hate him and think he's a complete waste. But it's all about player preference at the end of the day. I really like Morningstar, but most people completely hate using Morningstar. So yeah, this path, it's not too bad. With hindsight, if I could do it again, I probably wouldn't use Dr. Doom for that many fights. And you'll see coming towards the end exactly what I mean. So I won't spoil that just yet, but yeah, I do think there's better options for this than Dr. Doom. It might be different if you're running, say, a high Mystic Dispersion, but right now, because we're in the seasons and I don't place with any Mystic champions, and I'm a bit tight with my units and I don't really want to constantly keep changing them just for Mystic Dispersion, then I just don't run it. So yeah, that's Odin down. And next fight we're coming up to, it's a Red Skull. Main thing to remember about Red Skull is while he has the armors, do not hit his block because you'll just take direct damage back. He gains an armor for every time he goes above a bar of power, unless you stagger it in some way like I have been doing here with Dr. Doom. I could have got rid of them a bit easier if I brought the Mr. Fantastic synergy, I believe it is. Off the top of my head, I've kind of forgot. Yeah, I could have got rid of all the armor breaks, but they've all gone now anyway. And I'm just trying to get him into the Doom cycle nice and early. His special 2 is a special that I can partly evade. I just don't do all of it, just because it takes away any risk. But with using someone like Dr. Doom, for example, there's not really much risk from Red Skull special 2 anyway, because you're shock immune. So you can see I'm just waiting for this poison here on this regen stuff. And because the poison ran out, I just decided I'm not going to get a special 3 again in the Doom cycle. It's just not going to work out for me, so I'll just throw a couple of specials and try and get the fight done that way. Keeping the poisons on so that he can't regen too much. And yeah, apart from that, it's a pretty simple fight. So here's the special 2 that I was talking about. So I dex a bit of it, as you can see, I just don't dex most of it. Okay, then we're moving up to Annihilus here. Annihilus is an okay defender. Spoiler alert, I end up dying here, and to be honest I'm still not quite sure why, apart from some bad gameplay and smacking into it unstoppable a few times. Just because I really wasn't paying attention. The path was quite easy, so I just wasn't paying much attention to it at all. Annoyingly, probably the hardest path on the map that I did, because of how many videos that I've been doing recently, and including war videos and stuff and that as well. The memory on my phone actually got full, so it stopped the footage. So, as I said before, I'm going to have to come back and to do that one. But, yeah, just going through this fight now. Trying to get Annihilus into the Doom cycle if I can. It gets it's the block penetration node there, isn't it? It just appeared. That's why he's doing so much damage into the block. I've just seen it now watching the footage back. But yeah, Annihilus isn't the toughest defender normally, especially not for Dr. Doom. Most people in war, I'd say, would probably use Dr. Doom, maybe Clairvoyant or Quake, someone like that, just to get rid of an Annihilus pretty easily. He's not, like I said, he's not overly too good. I wonder what's causing that block penetration. I've always noticed that. That's why it's hitting so hard into the block. But yeah, so whenever you see that hand symbol, it means it's going to go unstoppable. I don't pay attention to it and get whacked up a few times, which is annoying. If you can intercept Annihilus, most people probably at the highest level will probably do that quite consistently. Like I said, I just wasn't really concentrating at this point. I get tagged again there. He's again throwing all these hand things at me. My limbers now ran out, so I'm just trying to sneak an intercept or let him make him throw a heavy attack at me. He does that. Here I'm trying to bait the special one. I managed to bait that and go back in to attack him. I thought he was going to dash at me there. I was 100% sure that I was coming in. And then there, I've gone in, he's backdrafted. I thought I'd swipe back, but I must have swiped to throw a couple of hits. Because normally in that situation, if they've dashed back, they're about to hit me. So I'm normally trying to swipe back as quick as I can to avoid that happening. So yeah, here, I'm going to use Black Widow Clairvoyant, and honestly I think she's probably the best one for this path. If you just put her in the poison phase, because it's still a poison as per the node on the quest itself, it will stop the regen coming back altogether. So you have nothing to worry about in terms of them trying to get the aggression regen and regening all the way back up. Nightcrawler, anyone who remembers, let's call it the old days, will remember how much they hate seeing the little smoke that constantly flies around the screen when he's evading. He used to be much easier to switch stances. There used to be a couple of like Nightcrawler tricks, as we used to call them, but then the AI changed slightly and it stopped that from happening. So now it is more, when he dashes back, you've kind of just got to hit into the block and try and make sure you've got your timings right, and maybe slow your combo down a little bit, just to see if you can get like 4 hits off while in the switch timer. And yeah, you don't really tend to see Nightcrawler much anymore. It used to be in every defense. Every Alliance War defense had a Nightcrawler somewhere, probably where there was stun immune, and just to be annoying. But yeah, once you've got him into the swashbuckling phase like he is now, there's nothing to this Nightcrawler fight. It's just take your time. You could put Black Widow Clairvoyant in the Incinerate phase and do a lot more damage from the special too if you want, but I was just quite happy just trying to push his bar of power up and then throwing a special 2 to gain more back. As you can see, I'm not worried about my health at all, and it'll 100% be the last time I use Black Widow Clairvoyant, because I'll be doing the Stealth Spider-Man boss that's on this one. I think that one's probably the easiest. Don't think I've missed a solo with Apocalypse yet. And yeah, so I don't need to worry about health, so I can just sit here and take blocked hits. As you can see from that stun, I've still got plenty of time on the parries anyway, where I've just been baiting heavies before. And yeah, that's basically the end of this fight, just kind of rinse and repeat. That's the end of this path, so thank you very much for watching.